In this video, we'll look at Kevin Hamdan, a popular mentalist who astonishes his audiences, and the features on his face that show a dominant inner persona and two types of luck present on his face. Enjoy. Welcome back, everyone, to another face reading. Today we've got Kevin Hamdan. If you're not familiar with him, he is an Instagram sensation. He's got like 1 million followers, and he's up and coming. Not up and coming, I just mean his numbers are going to continue to grow, given how good he is at what he does. So if you haven't heard about him, I strongly suggest you look him up on Instagram. He is a mentalist. And what that means is he works within the spectrum of being a magician, but specifically on mental games or mental tricks. And how he does what he does, I have no clue. You know, I have some senses about maybe what he's studied and things he's looked at and things he's done, all of which could be wrong, but I'm going to shoot from the hip and, tell you what I think. But he does these tricks where he will stop random people on the street and he will say, if I were to guess your first kiss, if I were to guess that person's name, would that blow your mind? And people are like, yeah, of course it would. And he has this thing where he, looks at them and he has them say the words in their head over and over again. And he sits there and he connects with them and he does this whole thing. And then all of a sudden he will blurt out the name, and these people, a lot of them run away. They're just like, they can't, they're like, no way. They split, they take off. It's hilarious watching these videos because people are legitimately blown out of their socks. Now, how he does it, I don't know. Does he have people on the street scanning iPhones to pick up information? Even if he was doing that, still being able to identify names and whatnot, passwords from phones. He does all kinds of crazy stuff, and people are legitimately shocked. People get very freaked out by him. I've seen even some kind of religiously oriented people be like, I rebuke you. Like they think it's like sorcery and like witchcraft. So with all of that being said, he has some interesting features in relation to what he does. So he's got a mixture of two styles of luck that are running in his face. The one he has is direct peach luck. There is a directness and intensity to when he is penetrating and looking at people and connecting with them. I do have a clip that I'm going to show you, and you can see his eyes kind of go through it and how his energy shifts. He's also got seductive peach luck. There's an element of mystery to him. And the way he dresses, he wears all black, and the vast majority of the time. And he's got kind of these smoky eyes that are kind of, they're kind of squinty sometimes. But when he connects and turns his eyes on, when he's connecting with his tricks, his eyes are much larger. So all of that being said, he's got this interplay between these two things. And when we see these styles of luck, they're meant to be used. When we can identify what we have, and I'm not sure he knows he carries these types of luck. He's probably not into face reading. But the point is, when we see these energetic rhythms, they can be used in your life to your benefit. And so he's got these, he carries these, and he's using them in the context of his work. And that's really the sweet spot. And the nice thing about face reading is you don't need to know anything about face reading. But if you're going to, look at your life, if you understand face reading, that's great. But a lot of times what I found is that in the world of face reading, I will find features on people's faces, and they are actively using the metrics on their face that say that they're good at something. They're using them. And that is really cool because life finds us. A lot of people fall into their natural aptitudes and their natural strengths. And so when I see this, I'm like, he's got direct luck and he's got this seductive luck as well. And he's using them both, which is a beautiful thing. So a couple key things. From his profile, when we talk about the three sectors, from the top of the hairline to the eyebrows, this is the mental sphere, the distance, the height there. From the eyebrows to the bottom of the nose, that's the pragmatism sphere, how practical you are in your approach to things. And then from the bottom of the nose to the chin is emotional and instinctual dynamics. So from top to bottom, the least amount is the mental sphere. That's his smallest allocation of energy. Then the pragmatism gets a bit bigger, and then emotional and instinctual gets a bit bigger. Now, the discrepancies between these isn't massive. So what that means is that he's got a balance of, using his logic in this process, and there's some pragmatism, but also it points to emotional and instinctual dominance in how he operates, which leads me to believe that yes, there's a trick to all of it. I know there has to be in some capacity because I doubt he's legitimately psychic. But he's also probably reading people. That emotional and instinctual nature means that you have that ability to use your gut and sense and tune in. Now, with a lot of profiling things, okay, when FBI people are informing, potential criminals, and not potential criminals, people that have been arrested for potential crimes, when they do that, there's lots of tells. When someone, is making something up, they look up in one direction. I can't remember if it's left or right, but they have these tells. If a person purses their lips when they're talking, or if they cross their arms, there's these body tells. And so my guess is this guy, he's also got a big broad forehead, okay, which means an open mind. It's like his hairline is low, but it's really broad, like it wraps around nice and clean. So with that big mind, my guess is that he probably has spent some time learning how to read people. That when people are thinking of letters, people might have facial cues that they give, or things that they lean into, or they might unconsciously do with their face. But he is tuned into their face. He looks like he's reading them. And that could, I have to be totally transparent, that could be part of the act to really sell the picture. Either way, he does it incredibly well, and I'm here for it. I love watching his stuff. So that's the component, those 3 layers that I want you to think about. Now, I'm going to show you a clip here, and this is of him doing this trick with this guy, and it's hilarious. So just check this out real quick and give this a whirl, because this will give you a feel for how he does what he does, and you'll get a vibe, and you'll see some of the luck. I'll talk about it after the video's over, the types of luck that are coming out of his face.
Okay, scroll through and find one word, one lyric that stands out to you, one word in there that really, really stands out. And once you find it, highlight it. That's our proof for the camera later. Put the phone face down. Genuinely speaking, is there any way I can know what this is? Honestly, anyone in the room?
No,
not at all. Okay. Think of the artist for me, okay? Imagine for a minute nobody's in the room. It's just me and you. We're going to have a mental conversation. Say the whole song in your head to me now. In your head to me now. What's my name? Snoop Dogg.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh.
You fucked me up right now, bro.
What? How?
You fucked me up right now.
And right when I said think of the artist, you saw him here in your mind. It's an interesting thing.
Oh my God.
It was just a matter of time, because matter was the word too, yeah?
Yes! Oh my God! Oh my mama, you guys. The fucking word was matter. Oh my God.
So you can see there how he does what he does. That whatever he does, it's incredible, and it blows people out of their minds. So couple things there. So you could see when he's connecting, there's a quickness to how he moves. There is an undercurrent of fire energy. So he has a very fast, quick mind. But he has that direct peach luck. So when his eyes get intense and he's focusing in on the person, and he's like, right here, right now, you connect with me, demanding, commanding attention, bringing it in. That's all wood energy, and he uses it masterfully. And then goes in there and drops that bomb, the abysmal, that energy from the water. It's like that depth. That's seductive energy. So when we think about seductive energy of any kind, right, it's the luring, it's the sirens, right? It's like the call of the sirens. It's like pulling you in. People who have seductive peach luck oftentimes have this capacity to lure and pull people in, which is very fitting for an illusionist, a mentalist, someone like this. That is a luck that is absolutely aligned with what he does, and he's using it. He gets them, he connects with them, and then he pulls them in, and then drops the bomb, and people just, they lose their shit, basically. So really interesting to see that. The other thing that I noticed about him also, which deviates a little bit from face reading, but not really, because it's attached to the head, which is his hair. His hair is incredibly thick. You can't see his scalp. It's that density of hair. This is a marker for Jing. Now, it's also said about head hair that it's reflective of the state of your nervous system, the integrity of your nerves, how well they fire, how well your nervous system is firing, all of that. So the thing I want you to think about is that anytime we deceive, even if it's like this, okay, there's something at stake. When we are involved in deception, even if it's very benign like this, there's no harm in this. These are tricks. But when we do that, there is a cost to the system. It puts our body through a little bit of something to deceive on the emotional spectrum of experience in relation to Eastern medicine. His hair is so thick the integrity of his nerves, the integrity of his kidney system is incredibly strong. That's that depth of the water energy, which the water energy is the seductive peach luck. That is the water element luck. So cool crossover to see how he's using this. Now, the other thing that I found pretty interesting about him is that when he smiles, okay, and he does something, you saw at that clip at the end when he kind of gives this very, like, it's this very confident but stoic smirk. There's a little bit of mischief in there. And when he does it, the left side of his lip expresses more than his right. I don't know if he has nerve damage. I don't know, if that's the case. If that is a function of like personality induced asymmetry in the mouth, or if he's had an injury. Sylvester Stallone has this too, the drooping lip. And Sylvester Stallone's came from an injury. But in the context of face reading, symmetry is a good thing, right? Symmetry is what we want to look at. It's beautiful. We're drawn to it. But asymmetry can also play to your favor because it's unique. And the way you want to think about asymmetry in the face is sort of like a scale. Perfectly balanced, cool, great, balance is good. But when you have something really heavy on one side and the scales tip, it's a bit more dynamic. There's quite literally something else going on the other end, and the other end is light. There's some polarity there. And that can play to your favor. So, he smiles on the left side of his face, which is the inner persona, which leads me to believe there's a certain amount of glee and happiness about what he's doing, but the right side stays a little more still. It doesn't move as much. That's the public persona. It's like he's keeping two personalities online at the same time, which I just think is very, very cool. Now, he's also got a pretty beefy face. Like there's some flesh to his face, which is earth, right? A lot of earth, and he's not fat. He's not excessively fat, but he's got a lot of earth. The earth is the grounding current for all of the other elements, which means he can probably dance through some emotional stuff pretty well. He connects with people very well too, which is very indicative of earth people. They're very connection and social oriented, and social connection also aligns with fire, but that capacity to connect and make people feel comfortable and to like give that certain amount of comfort and joy also relates to the earth, which he's got a lot of. So the other thing is his natural face, public persona, and his inner persona. Look at these three faces. Completely different. And it's really interesting because his public persona looks like that kind of trendy, a bit more tech, a bit more refined. Like he plays that so well on the street. He connects with people of all walks of life, and he does it really, really well. And then he's also got underneath this inner persona of like, there's some heft to that character. There's a bull-like energy in there. And I think with this kind of work, that's exactly what you need. You need to be able to bulldoze people a little bit. You need to be able to bulldoze their mind. You need to bulldoze their belief or the suspension of belief. You need some of that energy. And so when we see that big, meaty features, okay, on the inner persona, there's a lot more grit, determination, and girth in their energy than that public persona side. But we see on the inner persona, that means there's some heft to how they roll on the inside. So the last little bit was these action-oriented eyebrows. So he has these little check marks, and that points to people that are usually quick to act and quick to think. And when he's doing this, when he's reading people and he's doing his tricks, his energy absolutely aligns like that. So he's really interesting. I strongly encourage you to check him out, but I really enjoy watching his stuff. But I like seeing these connections between his face and what he's doing. So, very good overall in terms of life nourishment. When I do these, sometimes I talk about like the lifestyle things I would be giving him. I would have to talk to him a bit more honestly in person to person, because in terms of his constitutional makeup, the lux that he's using in the context of his work, he's hitting some cylinders right as they should be. Those cylinders are firing in the appropriate place. So I would be, giving him kudos, saying like, yeah, you've got this stuff already and you're using it. And I would have to do a little probing to figure out where he might need refinement and tuning, because overall his face doesn't have any red flags either. He looks pretty healthy, pretty young guy too. So in any case, that's my reading for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want me to read someone else, as always, put it in the comment section. Let me know. Thanks.